Hello and welcome to Develop. Along with our regular episodes, each month we release audio versions of selected articles from our publications, read by Hayley Still.
I Will Survive by Tribeni Gurung. For young people leaving government care with limited skills and resources, the world can be a daunting and threatening place. The Salvation Army in Ukraine is providing practical skills and emotional support so young people are less vulnerable to traffickers and have the confidence to provide for themselves. The effects of the Soviet era are still being felt in Ukraine, especially as it is one factor that has unwittingly contributed to modern slavery and human trafficking activities within the country. In 1991, Ukraine gained its independence from the Soviet Union, and yet in some areas of society, there were negative consequences such as increasing unemployment rates, poverty, and the collapse of social programs. In desperation for survival, people turned to opportunities offered by fake employers and human traffickers, thereby making them vulnerable to the trade. Ukraine is a source, transit, and destination country for human trafficking. In general, victims are coerced into sexual exploitation, forced labour, and forced begging, and many are trafficked abroad to countries such as Russia, Poland, and other parts of Eastern Europe, as well as China and the Middle East. Children are particularly vulnerable to trafficking and exploitation, and this is especially the case for children who have been orphaned. There are over 100,000 children living in orphanages, as many have been abandoned by their parents for various reasons, including financial instability, poor health, and the struggle to adjust to post-Soviet society. The government of Ukraine can provide state support to orphan children, but at the age of 16, they are no longer eligible and must live independently. Without money, limited education, and no effective support, it is near impossible for children to live a healthy and independent lifestyle, since many have been dependent on state support from a very early age, and have not had much exposure or guidance of the real world. In sheer desperation for survival, graduate orphans are at risk of easily being coerced or duped into accepting too good to be true opportunities that are usually offered by human traffickers and criminal gangs. Recognizing this gap, the Salvation Army in Ukraine is supporting orphan children through the I Will Survive project. Based at Kropivnitsky Corps, the project provides young people with opportunities to learn life skills and educate them on risks and dangers in society. Such skills, which are not always available to learn in orphanages, include cooking, money management, and IT, as well as support for securing study, jobs, and accommodation. Project participants are also taught about several topics, including modern slavery and human trafficking, safe migration, sexual health, and anger and behaviour management. Each person is assigned a mentor, a volunteer on the project, who encourages and motivates their mentee through conversations and the simple act of listening. At times, these volunteers teach their mentees unique skills such as playing the guitar and table tennis. It is hoped that by teaching life skills and educating young people in this way, it will support them to build their lives and improve their life chances, thus preventing and protecting them from human trafficking and exploitation. Now in its third year, the project continues to have a positive impact on young people's lives. When Bohdan joined the project, he was quiet and struggled to communicate with the project staff and his mentor. Outside of the project, he would socialise with gangs and take drugs and alcohol. After a few visits to the project, Bohdan began to open up about his problems. He would meet his mentor regularly, and he particularly enjoyed when his mentor would motivate inspire, and share stories. Bohdan also learned new skills in cooking and time management. Through his conversations, and by attending the life skills workshops, Bohdan was able to develop healthy and meaningful relationships around him. He was able to understand that there was more to life. Bohdan became a lot more hopeful about his future, something he had never thought about before. With support from the project staff, Bohdan was able to find a job and accommodation. He regularly keeps in touch with his mentor, and also attends Kropivnitsky Corps, in which he is now a soldier of the Salvation Army. Despite such successes, the project faced some setbacks in the first few months of 2020. Like the rest of the world, Ukraine is suffering from the COVID-19 pandemic. When rules of social distancing and restriction of movement were introduced in Ukraine, the I Will Survive project had to temporarily close, and the participants could only stay within their hostel premises. Although the project activities were put on hold, project staff and volunteers maintained their contact with the beneficiaries through social media platforms and messaging services. Meals were also prepared by the staff and volunteers and provided to some of the young people at their hostel. Soon after restrictions were eased, project activities resumed, although with only 10 participants attending the project at any given time. The project continues to operate under government guidelines. The Salvation Army in Ukraine aims to continue building on its experiences of working with young people and to fill the gap of supporting them to prevent and protect them from modern slavery and human trafficking. Since the problem is persistent both nationally and across the Eastern Europe region, the project will work with its partners, recognising that a coordinated, robust response is needed to eliminate the problem. This project represents one element of the Salvation Army's global response to human trafficking. If you would like to support this work, please visit donate.salvationarmy.org.uk/anti-trafficking. The name of the person in this story has been changed to protect their identity.